Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. Now I need to apologise for there not being a video for the last 2 days. We've been pretty crazy busy trying to organise things that are coming up, and I'm going to tell you the full story soon. We've got news on O'Reilly, we've done a few tweaks to that. The other E90 is up on the hoist. And it's up on the hoist because we are doing test and tune. So hopefully you've seen it, but unfortunately roll racing got cancelled. In fact, this is how we found out that it got cancelled. Yep. So unfortunately, we are about half an hour from the track and it's just started raining. Show 'em, Dave. And we're running a bit late, so actually the rest of the 0 to 60 crew are already there, and they said they think it's about to get cancelled. Which sucks.
It does suck, but to be fair, it kind of makes sense because trying to drive some of these cars in the wet isn't going to end well.
Do you not want to drive that in the wet with Mickey Thompson slicks on it, Dave?
One day, maybe.
Alright, I think we'll keep going there just in case it magically clears up. But it's not looking good.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so we were about 40 minutes from the track and yeah, it started raining. Obviously, you cannot run roll racing in the rain. And unfortunately, we just wasted a 3-hour drive. So it was a bit annoying, but hey, it is what it is. And sorry if anybody wasn't aware that that's why the video didn't go up. There was literally nothing to film. We come back home and I got very drunk. But moving forward, so the next weekend, because we couldn't do roll racing, test and tune's coming up. Now, the long-term plan is to go and drive O'Reilly really fast, but neither David nor myself have done a proper quarter-mile strip on the track with a tree, and even driven on a sticky surface. We've done heaps of road stuff, but having that prep surface is going to be a completely different experience. So instead of just taking O'Reilly and trying it for the very first time, we want to go and get some time on that surface in the other cars. So David is going to take this E90 down. Now, if you have not seen it, this E90 is running Vargas turbos. It's got an MHD Stage 2 off-the-shelf tune. We have put an upgraded Walbro 460 in it. I'm about to put high flow inlets in it. It's got an intercooler. It's basically going to be full bolt-on. And hopefully by the end of the week, fingers crossed, we'll have a custom tune running E40, E50. And she should be quite spicy. It's not going to be the fastest thing in the world, but it'll be something good for David to get his head around going down the strip. The other thing we're doing is taking my E92. Now, if you are new to the channel, I have a 17T China Turbo E92. That car has been so much fun, it's ridiculous. I've done everything as cheaply as possible, literally followed the eBay rulebook, and it's a friggin' fast car. It does 100 to 200 in 6.1 seconds so far. That's without even going crazy on the tune. It is a fast N54. However, again, I've never taken it down the strip, and I already have issues with traction. Like rolling on at roll racing with Michelin PS4Ss, I cannot accelerate, and I figured I'm going to have the same issue with a sticky surface, or even worse, amplify my axle snapping issue. Yes, I have snapped axles on that car on the street. Oh, I just broke something. And it's an auto, it's a ZF6 auto. It shouldn't have snapped an axle. That's how much torque that thing's making. Yeah, so basically to get my car ready to go and do test and tune, the first thing I'm going to do is try and put some bigger tyres under it. The Koyas that I originally purchased back in December, they are with Brent from Calandra Budget Tyres. He is going to try and make them fit under my rear guards with the help of a guard roller. If we can get those 295s to fit on my car, we're going to order a brand new set of Nankang, I think he said NR1 or NSR1s. Basically the top of the range semi-slick Nankang tyre. I'd love to put R888Rs on, but they're just too rich for my pockets at the moment. So we should hopefully have some sticky rubber on the China Turbo N54. Hopefully pick up the diff brace by the end of the week from Hillside Performance, and I think that's it. My E92 should be good to go, and I'd love to run a low 11, high 10 second pass on my E92. If all the stars align, we should get there. Don't forget that car has got a clutched LSD. I should be pretty good if I can get off the line. It should be quick, or it'll blow up. It'll probably blow up. It's an M54. So yeah, that's what's going on, and that's what's going to be the majority of work that we're doing this week. This car does also need, while it's on the hoist, the sump done. We want to get that done before we go to the strip. It doesn't actually drip oil down. It's been on the lift for 2 days now, so it's not a bad oil leak, but it's just we want to get this sump gasket fixed before we take it to the track. We don't want to drip oil on a drag strip. And the other thing I'm going to do, I think I mentioned it earlier, is get the inlets fitted onto this thing. This car has that full metal housing water pump. Hopefully you've seen that video. Apart from corrosion, in fact it looks really old all of a sudden, but it is still doing well. We've done over, I think, about 1,500 Ks on this car now, and it's actually going really well. Everyone likes driving it. We do want to do a transmission service before the strip as well. Okay, in other news, we have been doing a little bit of work with O'Reilly, and nothing to make it go faster. In fact, we've slowed it down a little bit. It's just a wild car, and it's too wild really to let anyone drive how it was set up before. If they did accelerate, they were going to have a bad time. And there was also an issue with the sunroof coating. Not an issue, it just hadn't been done. So yesterday I took the opportunity to take the steering wheel off and clean the steering position sensor, and the car now has traction control. I'll just start it up. So yeah, car starts up, no warning lights whatsoever. Coded out the steering wheel issue. Yeah. It's good. That's just coming up because it thinks the clutch is depressed. And that's because, hopefully you can hear me, that's because when this car is in park, it actually engages the clutch switch. Yeah, the computer actually thinks it's a manual, and that's how the power glide all works. So I just want to take it for a quick drive, and I'll show you how this car now functions, because, guys, it's friggin' awesome now. In fact, I'm going to shut the window up, and we're going to enjoy some air conditioning. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Hopefully you can see me. But yeah, let's go for a drive in a 700 wheel horsepower power glide car. And while we're going for a drive, in fact, this is the second time I've actually driven it, I wanted to touch on the fact that a lot of guys, especially from the States, don't understand what the torque converter does. So the torque converter in this car, because it's not a lock-up torque converter, you lose a lot of power from what the dyno actually reads. So even though this is reading 700 wheel horsepower, if it was a manual, it would be a much higher number. And that's why it seems to go, well, that is why it goes faster down the strip. Guys, it's wild. It just, I mean, everything's solid mounted, engine's solid mounted, gearbox is solid mounted, diff's solid mounted. So we get some vibrations, but now you can just drive it. Now I did let it warm up before, so I'll even come on to boost whilst filming, and the traction control just sorts it all out. It's wild. So before, if you did that, I would have crashed. There's no way I would have done that one. It would have just gone straight around to maximum revs and would have been a bad time. Hopefully you can see. All right, but yeah, now you can actually drive it. And wind it on. Oh, it's so fun now. I know it's silly. I've never driven a car with traction control. Every other car we've tested on 0 to 60, you have to turn the traction control off to get it to go quick. But this, it just works. It pulls power and it works. In fact, I've got a clip from yesterday where we were driving it, and hopefully it sort of shows how fast this thing is and how easy it is to drive now. I can't believe it. But yeah, and we actually, hopefully you guys know, but we do sort of try and draggy everything. And this car, whew, it's getting some impressive times for the draggy. For the street, standard tyres, it's awesome how fast this thing's going. And yeah, we're really starting to look forward to seeing what we can do with it and what Dan from Simply Tuning can do with it once he really winds it up even more. And yeah, but there are a few things that we need to do to it before we keep messing around. And let me show you what they are. Oh, just so you know, not one error, back in park, AC still on. Basically a standard car now. So something that Dan from Simply Tuning said that we should do with this car, just as preventative maintenance, is replace the stock oil cooler line. So I hadn't really thought about it too much. You assume being a factory line, they would last quite a long time. However, Bryce, another mate of ours, he came to visit us probably about 3 or 4 months ago with his N54, and as he pulled into the driveway, one of these lines had split. Now they weren't spraying madly, but it was just weeping out one of the fittings. And I just wanted to show you how much they move when the engines build oil pressure. You want to fire it up, Dave? You can see that movement. And then turn it off. So you can see, shall I wait for the fans to turn off? So you can see how much the hoses move under pressure. Obviously they are under full oil pressure from the engine. And I guess over 20,000 starts through an engine's life, this is going to get wiggly and you're going to get loose. So Dan actually had a customer who didn't want to change these when he did a turbo upgrade. Dan likes to do them on the customer cars. And lo and behold, after running at a bit higher pressure and what have you, he actually ended up with a fire because this would go straight onto the single turbo manifold. On Bryce's engine, there's nothing particularly hot up here, so you don't have any issues. But getting oil spilt up on this turbo manifold was going to be a bad day. So to get around that, we've actually ordered a full oil cooler kit, which I'll take you inside and I'll show you the details of what we've done. So this is the oil cooler kit that we've got for it. Now, basically, there's quite a few different ways we could have done it, but because O'Reilly doesn't have an inner guard, I wanted to get something that has the shroud to sort of protect the cooler. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we do have plans of road tripping this car, so we want to have something that sort of protects the oil coolers. We're going to need to do something with the trans cooler on the other side as well. But for now, this should work. Hopefully we've got space to make it all happen. So this kit, it is a Chinese kit. However, it's based on, from what we can tell, the Dynan kit, which is like 1,500 US. Same shroud, same core, basically the same package apart from the ducting. But what we plan to do, we'll fit this on O'Reilly. It's going to get rid of those genuine oil lines that tend to weep. And obviously this is like an AN style PTFE line. It's got the upgraded cooler, so it will have better oil cooling, although I don't think it's an issue really for that car. You don't drive it hard enough for long enough for the engine to get overly hot. But it should be a bit of an upgrade. And yeah, I actually bought 5 of them because I'm going to put one on my car. And we've also got them available on the 0to60.com shop. So if you want to grab one of them, they are available at the moment in Australia, and you'll even get a GST invoice. The other thing that we've purchased for O'Reilly, now this might be a bit of a love-hate thing, we've got the updated style grills. Now these grills were on the other E90, the one that's on the hoist, but let's go pop these in O'Reilly and see what it looks like. I just rolled O'Reilly out, but yeah, that's what they look like on this car. And we got them on there. Let us know what you think. Do you prefer those or the original style ones that it come with? We're going to keep the other ones. I'm always in two minds when I fit like a modern part to an older car, whether I'm going to like it or not. But that's what we've got for now. These are also available at 0to60.com. Go and check them out. Did I mention this episode is sponsored by 0to60.com? We need to actually pay to get this thing going properly quick. And yeah, there is a lot of money to spend on it before we can actually attempt another 9-second pass. But wish us luck. This week is going to be mad. Apologies for the lack of content. It's going to be getting that E90 inside, the Vargas turbo car ready, and my China turbo car ready mainly. But we will try and film things as it happens and keep you guys updated. But yeah, we want to get both cars to test and tune on Saturday, which is 4 days away. Guys, thank you very much for watching. A bit of an update. Hopefully you've all seen what happened and why this didn't actually get to do rolls, but it will be doing roll racing next week on the Mickey Thompsons. And it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. This car is fast. Who would have thought? Guys, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.
60. 100.
Okay.